Good day all, RobotnikHolmes here. Now, you guys know that at this point in the comic's lifespan, Archie's Sonic the Hedgehog series has been about as consistent as the ice cream on Sally Acorn's royal head. But I wouldn't dismiss the notion yet, my lovely watchers. I happen to remember that these two issues are very consistent, in that they are consistently crappy. Yeah, I'm putting that up front. These two kind of suck. Regardless, buckle up ladies and gentlemen and everyone in between. Let's take a peek at issues number 15 and 16. Okay, let's see what's on the first one's cover, with Robotnik centre stage. Actually, this happens to be one of the few that don't have Sonic on the cover. Oh wait, there you are, you little scoundrel. Also, the fumes of Robotropolis, we can see they have a rainbow of different colours. Wow, Dr. Robotnik, I wasn't aware you were a supporter of Pride. Getting into the issue proper, in today's episode of Look How Fast Sonic Is, the Blue Blur decides to save this small frog from a terrifying mudslide. Nice of the comic to showcase the Hedgehog's heroics more than his snarky personality this time. The frog is so thankful, in fact, that he gives Sonic these magical stones.
What?
I mean, they're clearly not Chaos Emeralds, they just look like bouncy balls, and also bear a resemblance to the Freedom Emeralds in the miniseries. Sorry for going off subject. Each of these mysterious Dragon Ball knockoffs are said to grant a different ability, them being increased strength, body elastability, and the power to jump great distances. You know, the conventional stat boosts. A few days later, yeah, we're skipping ahead, the Freedom Fighters are driving about in their version of the Mystery Machine. How odd. And as usual, the Big Bad and his lackey turn out to be spying on them. I guess here's the time where Sonic has to use the Magic Thingy's abilities, because the Big Bad arrives in a giant beetle bot. I'm not paraphrasing, that's what it's called. Sonic is able to quickly sort through the different rubber balls and remember which ones give which magic ability. Oh, no, too late. Rest in piss. Actually, he was able to use the elastability power in time and survived. What proceeds is Sonic using the stones to get him out of a pickle and protect his friends, sometimes using the wrong one at the wrong moment, which I admit was funny, but it really just stalls the whole story. The Freedom Fighters are left to be kidnapped because the plot says so, and of course this gives Sonic the perfect opportunity to swap the giant bug mech out of existence. To cap it all off, after realising the stones were magical after all, Sonic searches amongst the frogs in hopes of getting more of them. Talking to frogs, yeah, that's the joke we're ending on here. The second story of the issue, What's the Big Idea? Yeah, same Sally. Rota builds something in his closed-off workshop, and the others spend the whole issue wondering just what the heck the big guy's up to. The characters all pass around random and nonsensical invention ideas for 3 straight-up pages, until it's revealed he was just making a thermos. Wonderful. That was so short I could have placed it in the extra bits section, but moving on. The third story at least has something to it, it's perhaps the only one actually trying. In this instance, we see more examples of Bunny Rabbit's awesome powers. Well, technically we're watching the bad guys watch her do things, but there's only 6 pages left, what you gonna do? So Dr. Robotnik plans to use Bunny's robotic parts to plot the Freedom Fighters' ultimate downfall. Is he going to make her lose control and tragically take out her friends? Nah, there's just a huge freaking magnet that he uses to... What do I even say to that? So, while Bunny's in a spot of trouble with the magnetic pull, Sonic uses this opportunity to distract the villain, making him turn his giant-ass magnet an entire 90 degrees. Of course, in that direction is where Robotropolis is, and doing the math, you can guess where the story ends there. At least we see a couple hundred props lifted from the cartoon, plus Grounder, and... is that a frickin' chicken? Jeez, what even was this issue? Literally nothing contributes to the comic's lore, the characters and personalities, or even to the series as a whole. The first and second stories are just there. I mean, sure, we have the Freedom Fighters talking amongst each other, but there's no personality to them. As a change of pace, or rather reality altogether, Sonic is given magical stones at the beginning, and the Blue Bugger never thinks to use them, or even show them to his friends. And days pass by. It's so odd and out of touch with either of the cartoons. The whole setting is rather off. We see the Freedom Fighters in a makeshift vehicle just driving around. With this and them using projections in issue number 3, I'm half certain the writers just got the script for Scooby-Doo by accident. But back on topic, do any of these magical stones play a part in later stories? Will the Freedom Fighters use them to gain the upper hand in their endless struggle against the forces of Dr. Robotnik? No. Story rating is 1. Dave Manik's art is still okay. It contributes to the zany story by being just as cartoonish looking. Art Mawini's talents I feel were wasted on this issue, what with the stories having such bare-bones plots. I kind of feel bad for the dude. The characters are just going about the motions, their personalities either being non-existent, or just really wisecracking to the point where it begins to wear on you. What else is there to add even? Art and characters gets a 2. So with these low scores, they add up to the total of 3 out of 10. Woo, go mediocrity. What a startlingly unexceptional issue, right? Either way, let's forget about that and move on to the next one. Seems to be somewhat an improvement. Ooh, I do like number 16's cover. Not only is the art pretty nice, but fricking Sally has her fricking colours right this time. Also, the cover on this one actually relates to the story inside, finally discontinuing the trend of these covers just having one-off jokes printed on them. Thank God. In the first story, Sonic Under Glass, it seems that the Freedom Fighters have finally defeated Dr. Robotnik and posed for an old-timey selfie together. It's almost too good to be true, and then, a long while later, Sonic and Sally Acorn are planned to be wed together. Huh, kind of out of the blue really. I guess Count Terovich and Penders are huge Solali shippers. So the wedding is underway, all the Freedom Fighters are present, and Antoine is jealous of their hypothetical union. And yes, I really mean hypothetical, because none of this is really happening. True to the title, the vile Dr. Robotnik has actually trapped the Freedom Fighters in virtual reality and is watching their every move. And with the team incapacitated and helpless in foiling his usual plots, the evil doc has something even worse planned. What, is he gonna send his badniks out into the forest, and turn the entire zone into a casino? Or turn the Freedom Fighters into Ugandan Knuckles memes? Actually, no. He plots to use war machines to completely total the forest, and eventually find the secret location of Knothole. Man, the villain isn't screwing around this time. It's actually kind of jarring. Meanwhile, in VR, Sonic notices a glitch in the Matrix and everything starts to go absolutely balmy. Sonic suddenly finds himself being the janitor at the wedding, and then he isn't. And then everyone's now in a Salvador Dali painting. And then Uncle Chuck and Mutsky appear, unroboticized. Yeah, I'm confused too, but I guess that's what the user-friendly world of virtual reality is for you. Sonic realizes his surroundings are fabricated and uses the user-friendly surroundings to his advantage. He's able to learn of Dr. Robotnik's plot and sees Mobius is quite literally being bulldozed. However, the Hedgehog feels that his friends are already happy where they are in the fantasy world made for them. He has to choose between either happiness in an empty user-generated virtual world, or leaving and going back to fighting Dr. Robotnik in his endless bid for world domination. What Sonic chooses to do is to go out and fight Robotnik, and apparently he's going to hack into the villain's computers from the inside? Also, these two buggers are in this one panel and nowhere else, and I fail to see why. Let's see, it's the mid-90s? What was on everyone's mind when hacking was brought up? Oh, I know. Max Headroom. Yeah, Sonic takes on this persona to hack into all the TVs, turn the big bad's war machines around, and threatens to let them lay waste to the city unless he lets his friends go. Robotnik complies, and the Freedom Fighters are able to escape, while also making a jab at Disneyland. As they do so, we get a glimpse of the real Uncle Chuck and Mutsky, as a reminder of who the Freedom Fighters aspire to save. It's even got a hook of what's to come in the end, in to be continued form. Story 2 is a bit looser in seriousness. It's also called The Man from Hedgehog. We get it, Penders, you love your spy films. Apparently, there's more than just the Freedom Fighters that are against Dr. Robotnik's rule. There's this whole secret intelligence division, and the villain wants in on what the heck that is. What ensues are pretty much just pages of jokes, not unlike in the last issue. Each and every time, the Robotniks are foiled and given an ominous note, usually with the words "who" emphasised, or, funnily enough, quotes about owls. Huh, well I be damned. You sure you want to reference Twin Peaks in this kids comic, Penders? This eventually leads to Sonic and Sally going out on a break to a Robotnik-themed casino, like fricking idiots. Which of course, gets the Hedgehog kidnapped, where I guess he's just literally James Bond now. Man, this got done pretty fast. Anyway, you know the jig. Dr. Robotnik tries to kill his nemesis, the Hedgehog in the snazzy outfit, but of course he gets away, leaving the good doctor in a fit of rage. In the end, we see that the head of the Secret Intelligence Headquarters is actually related to Who and Owls, because Who just happens to be his name, finally giving meaning to those jokes I had to sit through the whole way through. Holy crap, the stories were not only a step up from the last issue, but also actually really nice to read. I commend the writers on actually making a story that isn't just pages and pages of bloody puns this time. Dr. Robotnik's whole plot in the first story is a huge step up because he's shown to be an actual threat this time around. I'm actually glad he's starting to have shades of his Satiem counterpart and his sadistic nature and unapologetically evil motives. While the first one had a good number of character interactions and engrossing narrative, the second one was more just the usual jokes and puns that make up half of these early comics. All in all, I don't regret reading this issue. The stories as a whole gets a 2. This issue only had Dave Malick on pencils this time. I gotta say, as much flack as I give him, I do think his art is well suited here. Also, I just realised, in the backgrounds on some panels, in place of characters that are undercover in the secret whatever, we spot what appears to be, and I'm not kidding, Agents Winnie the Pooh, Eeyore, and Owl. I suppose because Harvey Who isn't Owl, they just went with it. Sonic and Sally get more interaction, and while the other characters are mainly left to dry, Antoine's snobbish nature and jealousy towards Sonic is front and centre. I enjoyed the higher stakes in the first story, where Dr. Robotnik is at his evilest, but not the plain setting of the other one, where it's just watered down jokes all the way through. So I'm kind of half and half. Characters and art, I'm giving it a 2. Final score for issue number 16 is a 4 out of 10. Hooray, the usual rating I give these early issues. So, through the course of this video, I was enlightened, truly surprised at the writing on display, but then brought back down upon reading this issue. Ah well, these ones are pretty lackluster, but fear not! The next 2 issues are some that I know will help shape the series into its next era, where plots get more heavy, and moments ring surprisingly true to the original cartoon. So, thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for the next video where I take a look at issues number 17 and 18. It gets better, trust me. Oh, don't mind me. I'm just biding my time for the eventual confrontation video. Probably in like, issue 20 or something. Like, comment and subscribe, f***ers!